Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if, Naruto and Anko are reborn into a new world by Kami, part 2, hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Tsunade Senju is in a volatile mood, and given her soon-to-be legendary temper many avoided the blonde, her honey eyes glowing menacingly, and her beautiful face scrunched into an angry scowl. Bro shouts. She wears form-fitting white pants with boots similar to, but white and black, a white kimono blouse with no sleeves, and a black obi, but also a short sleeve black underneath. On the left hip of her pants is 3 in Old English with a high collar jacket discarded. It is white with black sleeves, and looks similar to the Sanin's coat, but with no clouds. Across from her Thukel the demon laughs loudly, and tosses a large boulder. Here you go he howls, tossing it. He is an extremely muscular, and overly tall man covered in scars, with specky blonde hair held up by a bandana, and a small beard. Tsunade clenches her left gloved fist, and shatters the boulder with a single devastating punch. This process continued until the pair were surrounded by shattered rocks. So what made you so upset? Thukel asks, after drinking from a barrel of ale. He wears black pants and boots, with a long-sleeve mesh armor shirt over a white sleeveless shirt, his coat discarded, as well. Tsunade herself has a large bottle of sake. It's nothing. Well maybe it is because I love Naruto. I love Naruto so much I became his mistress before he's even 18. She starts, but a scowl forms. So I don't get why he would associate with Konoha and Fire Country, especially after what they did to my great-grandfather, and force my clan to flee, she says. Well I can't speak for him, but no matter the things they've done it's his father's homeland, even though his father is a weak early man who may have become an SS class hunter. Thukel starts, and drinks some ale. But I can say he couldn't survive on our floor in the Heaven Tower. The fact that he died in the Demon Tower proves my point, Thukel adds, and stifles a laugh at the end. True, and Naruto cleared that same tower at 15, before taking several pulls from her bottle. So how's that sexy monarch doing? She was pretty upset about Naruto leaving too, Thukel asks. Tsunade glances his way with a snort, angry she's destroying our mindscape. Oh, she has her opinion on things one sec, she says, and closes her eyes. Thukel blinks, as Tsunade's blonde hair gains several black streaks, her pouty lips turn black. She opens her now haunting red eyes, and she is no longer, but the monarch of plagues Koresha. I am Naruto as the new shadow monarch. When we attacked we assumed he was like the others, but we paid for it. The beast monarch is dead. The frost monarch fled back to tower. And to save myself I merged with this one like her. I love Naruto, because I love the shadow monarch. My love I've learned from Tsunade, and his harem is called Yashio love, and I can agree with that assessment, she says, and pauses. Poisonous breath of green and purple escapes her dark lips. I have accepted that Anko is his head wife, and I've accepted Konan Kagaya and Tsunade as his lovers. However, any others who attempt to get close to my Naruto-kun, I will kill them unless he says no, says, blushing, and touching her cheeks in a yandir pose. She recedes back into, and the blonde's eyes, as Kagaya approaches, but her honey eyes narrow, as a swirl appears. Zahaha Naruto and company are back, Thukel shouts, downing more ale. Naruto, and they appear via Naruto's Mangekyou Sharingan ability known as Kamiei. This causes to shoot to her feet, grabbing her coat, and marching towards the group. Come on, hisses, dragging him along with a giggling, a quiet Kagaya, and a stoic following. I guess having an infomaniac monarch is a problem. I feel for you cousin, Yuhiko comments. Tsunade was upset about him going to Konoha, Nagato says. Thukel suddenly slaps the pair on their shoulders. Well since you're here how about helping me, he says, and both pale. Garrison sits at the U-shaped table with the shinobi clan heads and merchant guild members, as I am sure your heirs and heiresses have already informed you. However, I'll repeat it for the merchant guild. Minato's son Naruto Uzumaki and daimyo of Yashio came to our village, Hiruzen says, and everyone starts to murmur. Mundakuse is as dangerous as the rumors say, Shikaku Nar, and Jonin commander asks. He wears the standard attire with a few scars on his face, and an e-ring. Hiruzen takes a puff of his pipe, and sighs, yes, and compared to Minato, I believe Naruto is stronger, he says, and gasps echo. Bullshit. He's no older than my son Tsuminizuka, and father of shouts, wearing the standard attire, but his shirt black. Hiruzen unleashes some of his aura. I am still an S-class hunter, and I wouldn't joke about his power. He did conquer the demon tower, however that doesn't prove anything. What did our Jonin report? Fugaku Uchiha states. He wears the standard flak jacket, along with a black shirt, and the Konoha military police force symbol on the shoulders, shin guards, and a black open front apron with white diamonds on the bottom. He stopped our Jonin from entering the gate, and Sai's Sumijutsu has stopped, as well. However Kakashi and I witnessed him ride a horse made of shadows, and dispel it with a simple wave of his hand, as Hiruzen explains, and the council murmurs. A skill similar to our clan, but able to create a horse. Then could he create soldiers, as well, Shikaku says. That level of control is impossible, Choza Akamichi says, wearing standard attire with a hachimaki tied around his forehead. Never discount it. He is the son of the Summer Queen, and her powers are mostly unknown, Inoichi Yamanaka comments. He wears the gray uniform of Konoha's T&I department and black trench coat. Changing the subject, my daughter reported a young woman with Uzumaki. She remarked she was his wife, Hiyashi Hyuga states. He wears a white kimono with a dark obi and long brown coat. Her name is Anko, and she's a member of the One-Horned tribe, Hiruzen says. Kukuku, that's interesting. As for my encounters with them, they don't associate with anyone outside their tribe. This should give credence to some of Naruto-kun's strength, speaks one of the 3 students of Hiruzen known as the 3 Beasts. It may very well be, Orochimaru Hiruzen says. Orochimaru is a pale man with snake-like yellow eyes and long black hair, wearing the standard attire. The cares Minato's brat should have lived here, no matter what that bitch said, shouts the second of the 3 Beasts rear. He is a muscular man with a mane of white hair and dark eyes, wearing a green guy with a red vest and Jetta sandals. And risking an all-out warrior, Yashio has powerful allies within the tower and will come to her aid, speaking the final member of the 3 Beasts, Shirahashi Senju. She is a very beautiful woman with a sinful figure, long dark tresses, and cobalt eyes. She wears a mesh bodysuit under a revealing dark blue battle kimono. Shirahashi-chan is right. Fire Country cannot afford a war. Iwa Kumo could take advantage with their Biju Hiruzen. Then why haven't we acquired one of our own? Kiri is embroiled in a civil war, Taki is a weak nation, and the same could be said for Suno, also the Kyuubi on the loose states. I agree with Danzo-sama. We've never had a Jinchuriki. Perhaps it is time we do, and some of the council murmur. Hiruzen leans back in chair and puffs his pipe. I will reflect on it. This meeting is dismissed, he says, and the council soon files out, leaving the 3 Beasts and Shisui's Sharingan failed on him, Hiruzen says, and Jiraiya asks in anger. Then what do we do, say? Hiruzen takes a few pulls from his pipe. Danzo has agreed to use Fayumi. They spoke for a time, and she can perhaps build a rapport with him. I'll have her team sent to Yashio as an olive branch. If they can grow closer, then we'll send her team into a high-level gate. Anbu will shadow to evacuate the heiresses, but we'll sacrifice Fayumi and Kurenai, he says. She's nothing like Minato. At least she can be of some use. Kawaki is coming along well. Orochimaru's growth hormones have him near the brat's age. Kawaki may be the same age as your grandson, but physically he's the same age as the brats, Jiraiya explains. Did he awaken the Mokuton? Orochimaru chuckles softly with a glint in his yellow eyes. Of course it was nearly impossible to replicate your ancestors' famed Mokuton, but thanks to me, it has been reborn. His right arm is the latest prosthetic from Amato Futures, but for more military purposes, he explains. We'll need to keep Kawaki under wraps. Lest we anger the Senju, and Yuzashio hears and says, and scoffs. We the true Senju have no fear of traitors, even if one proclaims herself as Hashirama-sama's granddaughter, Shirahashi states. I hear she's beautiful. I'll get my spies to get us some pictures, Jiraiya says, and Shirahashi scoffs again. Going forward, we need to get Naruto under our sphere of influence or ingratiate ourselves to him. It's only a matter of time before others attempt the same thing, Hiruzen says, and his students nod, but Danzo doesn't. Unknown location music. Boruto Oscar. He cleared the gate, a voice says. Several projections sit in a circle of stone thrones, all with white eyes, save a few with one having Sharingan eyes. He's got skill, one says, in a snobby tone. He is the Shadow Monarch. He scared the Frost Monarch into hiding on one of the upper floors, Mamashiki a second says. He's still a disgusting mongrel, Kanshiki sneers at. Tell us more about him, a third says. The first speaker brings up a projection of Naruto. He became daimyo at 14, after his mother abdicated to become the full-time. The other daimyo fear him simply because of his age, and the fact he doesn't rely on his village to work for him, they explain. He looks quite strong, and not fully grown fufu for a human. I could play with him, the first female voice says. Calm yourself, Ida. Victor, can your spies ascertain when he'll enter the tower? Fourth voice says. The now named Victor shakes his head. No, I cannot. Yorishiki-sama, his residence is protected by seals, and Yuzashiogakur has an early warning system in the form of his shadow soldiers. I gained the information I have through the guilds, he explains. Ida feels he's interesting. Maybe I'll have to have some fun with him too, a fifth voice says. He'll dance well. Code, he's my great-grandson, a sixth voice says. Regardless, the other monarchs may move on him before he enters the tower to save Frost, as he will deal with him on his floor. For now we'll continue to observe him until a final projection says, and all of them cease. Victor sighs heavily, and falls back in chair. So he's only 17, 3 years younger than me, a voice says, and Victor looks up to see a young woman. She has long blonde hair with purple eyes, her figure voluptuous under a green blouse with a boob window, and pinstripe pants, with high heel boots to her knees. And more dangerous than your Delta, Victor snaps. Delta huffs with an unleash of her aura. Don't presume to talk to me in any way. I may pay this Naruto a visit during the Chunin exams. I'm sure he'll attend to curry favor and build his guild, she says, and leaves a frightened Victor. Song ends. Naruto slowly wraps tape around his left hand. So who's it this time? Askeladd asks, with lipstick marks of various shades all over his bare chest. Askeladd has light blonde hair, blue eyes with his eyebrows thick and flicked upwards at the outer edges, and a small, neatly groomed goatee. He wears a black three-piece suit with a long white scarf and white gloves. He is Naruto's spymaster and right hand, coming from the tower's 10th floor. A near frozen wasteland that builds warriors both male and female. Not sure he won't talk, but Bjorn did break his jaw, Askeladd says, and chuckles. We healed it though, he adds, opening the door. A blonde-haired man was bound with his hands behind his back and head down. Next to him was Bjorn, and Askeladd's best friend. He is a stocky man with dark, scruffy, black hair reaching down his neck with his beard tied by a string to resemble a goatee. Give me another hour, and he'll talk, Bjorn says, wearing a similar outfit to Askeladd, but no coat. Naruto cracks his left hand with a dark look. He interrupts my fun time, he says, and both knew immediately what their boss meant. Now this can go one of two ways. Every time you don't answer my questions I break a finger, or if you answer I'll simply punch you, though I punch harder than Bjorn, he says, and gets silence. Well, since you're being awfully quiet I'll take it you wish to begin, he adds. The man betrays nothing, as Naruto looms over him. Where do hail from, Naruto says, and gets no response, but a snap of a finger. This continues until 8 of his fingers are broken. You'll never get anything from me, the man says, no emotion in his tone. Naruto slips a menthol coal into his mouth, and Bjorn lights it. I know, but I did that to you because you interrupted my time with wife and lovers. I'll say it sure trains them well, he says, and the man gasps, causing his captors to laugh. You know, my soon-to-be dead friend. We know how paranoid Danzo, and by extension Fire County, are. It's the reason you were caught. Now since you're going to die I'm gonna monologue like a movie villain, Naruto says, and Askeladd laughs. My sister Fayumi, I've known about her since I was 6. Mother suspected my father could have other children, given his lecherous sensei, so she found Fayumi, the daughter of the heroic 4th Hokage, and Kairoi Senko, living in an orphanage, and then adopted by her guardian Kurenai Yuhi, Naruto explains. Perhaps it was out of fear Kushina-sama did announce you were his son. Haha, Konoha couldn't just announce that Fayumi was his daughter too, haha, even if she looks more like him than you do, Askeladd says, laughing a bit. Then call me anyway. Moving on, imagine my shock when we learned that Fayumi's mother was Danzo's daughter, and he doesn't care about her, due to being an emotion-hating warhawk, Naruto says, and looks the man in the eye. Doesn't even care that his own daughter gave her last breath, so her child could breathe her first. Well, he did disown her. However, I now learn I have a brother, and he possesses the famed Mokuja, Naruto says, holding up his hands in quotes at the end. What Konoha doesn't know is Tsunade-chan possesses her great-grandfather's Mokujan, but hers is more plant-based, thus her name, as the legendary healer, and queen of poison, Askeladd says. Naruto blows several smoke rings with a smirk. They didn't bother to care cause she wasn't creating forests or capturing Biju like Hashirama, he says. The door is suddenly kicked off the hinges. Naruto, you didn't tell me you were going to torture somebody. My torture senses went off. Whines, half-dressed, but wearing her skirt and a bra. Bjorn slams into a wall from a nosebleed, and Askeladd laughs. Sorry Anko-sama, Askeladd says. Naruto makes a face with puffed cheeks. He interrupts our fun time, he whines, dropping into her bountiful bosom. It's okay Naruto, Anchan's milk tanks are all yours, Kus, stroking his head. Askeladd clears his throat with a chuckle. We still need to finish with him, he says. Naruto pulls free from Anko's breasts. Right back to it, my brother Kawaki. I wonder how they'll use him. I suspect adding him to the Rookie 9, and debuting him at the Chunin exams. Haha, what a legacy. Son of the Kairoi Senko, and descendant of Hashirama Senju, and unlike his siblings completely loyal to Konoha and Fire Country, he says. Well, I'm done monologuing, kill him, Anchan, Naruto adds. Anko giggles as she places her right index and middle finger to the man's chest as Bjorn lifts him up. Hado 4. By Akurai, she says. The man spews blood from his mouth as pale lightning pierces his chest and out his back. Give him a proper burial if he has family. Conveniently help them, Naruto says, and both men nod as Naruto and leave. You have a good heart, Anko says, leaning into his arm. Naruto snorts with a smile. He's just a soldier in service of a foolish master, he says, returning to their fun. A refreshed and clean couple ride to see Anko's family in the eastern part of. She wears a purple and black version of her outfit with black stockings and black ankle boots. Naruto wears blue jeans and harness boots with a white dress shirt, the sleeves rolled up, and black suit vest. We need to bring the others next time. Dad would love to drink with Thorkel, and Tsunade says, and Naruto nods. The tribe's territory comes into view as the pair see Anko's brother and sister waiting for them. Anko is the middle child of triplets and one of 9 children, as her parents were like rabbits. How's it going, sis? Her brother Into shouts. He's tall and muscular with a black horn and messy light purple hair. He wears the traditional clothes of the tribe, and it consists of clothes from ancient China. Fine muscle hat, hey sissy, Anko says. Her sister Enya is nearly identical too, but has golden eyes. She too wears the traditional attire, but her sleeves cover her hands, and she carries a long sword. Hello Naruto, Enya says, and Naruto greets her back. Yo, Naruto care for stars, but Naruto back fists him in the face. The three continue on into the village, and leave on the ground. Mother is pregnant again, Enya says, and signs, causing Naruto to snort. Many of the tribe greet Naruto with shouts of let's fight, so I'll have your babies. Anko unleashes her aura, and that stops everything immediately. I swear, horny ass woman, I even saw a grandma in that rabble, she says. It cannot be helped that sissy Naruto Boni is Kushina-sama's son. Many want that bloodline, Enya comments, sleeve to her mouth. The three reach the chief's home with the sounds of children playing out back. Get out and stay out. You got me pregnant again, I thought you said you were wearing protection. A voice shouts. I was wearing my armor, another voice shouts, then the sound of a dish crashing. The sisters sighing in unison, as their father rushes out. He sees his daughters, and Naruto, oh you're back, he shouts, rushing towards the three, and grabbing Naruto in bear hug. Enya, and Anko's father known as Yodo or the martial god, is an older version with a purple beard. Good to see you, Pops, and you're in the doghouse again, Naruto says. Yodo scoffs, as he puts Naruto down. PFFT, I'll go see my honey on the side, he says. I heard a voice say, in a sickening sweet tone, and freeze. Naruto looks past him to see the wife of Yodo, but also the mother of Nainumiko. She has a dark look on her face, but it immediately vanishes, as she sees Naruto, Narukon. It's so good to see you, she says. Hello, Naruto says, giving her a hug, and she kisses his cheeks. Anko hugs her mother with a pair of kisses to the cheek, and the womenfolk head inside to speak, as they arrive. Follow me, Yodo says, and both follow him to the dojo. Yodo turns to Naruto with a serious look. Have you progressed to the next set, asks, and Naruto slowly nods. Yodo takes a seat on his knees, as does the same. Naruto pops his various joints, and slips into the first stance, moving his body through each, as energy builds through his body. He's progressing well, and Yodo nodded. As expected of the son of our summer queen, Yodo says. Naruto halts his movements, and centers himself to release the excess energy. You balance so many different energies, not many can topple you, says. Maybe so, but, as Aniki always said, Naruto thought, and Zetsuya nodded. A sound mind is a sound body, both said. Yodo claps his hands with a chuckle. Alright, how about a spar, he says, and grins. Anko sips her mother's tea with a loving sigh. I still can't make tea like you do, she says. Emiko slips a cracker into mouth with a soft smile. It's a mother's love. Does Narukon love your tea? He enjoys it during the morning or after dealing with paperwork or overload from his clones. Doing his paperwork replies. I'm still coming to terms that you, my twin sister, and Naruto Boni, have lived a previous life, and found each other again. It's so romantic, Anya says, and Anko smiles. I've loved him for over 70 years, and I hope it becomes double, comments. Emiko softly giggles, as does Enya. It's not every day you find your child is a second lifer. When you were old enough to speak properly, you shouted I'm Anko, not Enya, or marry or tend to the son of our summer queen, but such is life created by the gods, says. All three continue to drink tea, and eat snacks, as the screams of her rumbles go unnoticed. Meanwhile, with the torture, spark continues, as crashes into a wall once again. Naruto stands with his upper body shadowed with two glowing orbs, and a wide smile. What's the matter? You're the one who started this fight, he says. Ento staggers to his feet with a wild and angered look, as his aura explodes, shooting forward in a low tackle. Naruto simply dodges with a sway back and back step, before connecting with the uppercut to Ento's chin, but he pushes through, grabbing and tossing Naruto with all his might. South into roars. Naruto flies a few feet, but catches himself with his right, and right himself back into the hand pocket stance. Ento rushes Naruto again, but he flips him with an Aikido toss, then grabs him by his right pinky, and breaks it. Well, let's stand you up, Naruto says, twisting the finger. Ento screams, but finds himself standing, as calls an end to the spar. Nice torture session, I mean, spar says. Naruto lets go of, and the latter sees his finger dangling. You are so rough with me. Because I know you can take it. I do the same to Thorkel, bro. If you intend to enter the tower, and protect Enya or Anko, then I need to beat you until I feel you're ready, Naruto explains. Naruto is correct that Heaven Tower is nothing like gates. You need to be ready. Now go meditate, and clear your mind, Yodo says. Ento nods, and goes to sit down, as slaps Naruto on the back. Sturdy, as ever. Tell me, in your second life, did you have tough opponents, asks. Not really, but here everyone is strong, and I can fight to my heart's content. I really do hope my great-grandfather is in there when Naruto starts, and his eyes glow brightly. I hope he dances, as well as the stories, he says, smiling wide. One Horn Tribe territory. Sakura forests. Naruto makes his way through numerous sakura trees with a bouquet of flowers meant for remembrance. He continues on until a ball hits his leg, causing him to look for the source. The source was a little girl of about 5 with brown hair and purple eyes, but the most curious features were her fox ears and 2 tails. She wears a red floral kimono with a black obi, matching tabi socks, and brown sandals. We named her Magi in remembrance of what her voice says, in a deep baritone. Naruto picks up the ball, and turns to the no Yuko. I see Kurama, he says. Kurama is a young man with a mane of orange hair, thick whiskers on his cheeks with red slitted eyes. He wears no shirt with a dark gray jacket, black hakama pants with a white obi wrapped around his waist, the access forming 2 tails in front, and no shoes. Amagi sees her papa, and runs to him for her to be picked up. She can be a bit shy, Kurama says. Naruto approaches with the ball and holds it to Umagi, but she buries her face in Kurama's chest. Haha, so what brings you here, asks, as the pair walk. Naruto sighs with a look into the canopy of trees. I'm intending to go into the Heaven Tower with my espada, and I need my primere, he says. Kurama strokes on the back. You don't need me. My place is here, as guardian of Yashio, he says. Naruto softly snorts with a smile. I know, but wanted to ask. Besides, I know it brings bad memories, he says, as they reach a shrine where Akagi and Kaga were waiting. Both were in human forms of beautiful young women wearing Miko-like outfits of their colors. Naruto-kan both greet each other. Naruto places the flowers and says a prayer, remembering the day the original gave her life for him. He was 3 at the time and got lost, as most children do. He couldn't maneuver his child's body and paid for it. Several hunters attacked him on the 5th floor of the tower because of who he was, and his guardian died. Once I reach that floor I will make them pay, Naruto says. Akagi squats down to hug him, and Kaga does the same. We will be with you, Akagi says. Naruto rises to his full height, but feels a tug and sees with her arms up. He smiles and picks her up as she hugs him, causing him to remember the original, keeping him safe. Another Hanako taken, but this time I can avenge her, Naruto thought, hugging little. Naruto sniffles a bit and hands to, before stroking her head, as Big did for him. Grow up strong and caring like your namesake, Naruto says, and smiles. Kurama looks over the scene with a smile and a tear. You are one of my oldest and most loving, keep watching over your sisters, and the Lord of Darkness even if he doesn't need it, he thought, but silently gasps, as the silhouette of the original appears, and hugs them. Kurama and Naruto soon head to a spot where a blanket was prepared for them. So when you are entering the tower, take a seat and lay back. Naruto takes a seat and pours some sake. I have a few things to deal with, but at most a year from now after my 18th birthday for sure, he replies. Legal adults in most circles, Kushina will throw a grand celebration for you. Anko and the others will have things planned too, Naruto muses, downing his sake. Amagi's bowl rolls next to him, and he tosses it back to her, as approaches. May I pour you a drink, Naruto-kun says, kneeling between them. Naruto lifts his saucer with a smile, and Akagi smiles with a pour. Do you still frequent the Demon Tower? Naruto takes a sip, and pours him another drink. Not too often, only if the new lord calls for aid against an upstart demon, he says. Or to annoy what Ina girl says, and Naruto chuckles, laying back, and taking a small nap in Akagi's lap. Flashback Demon Tower music. Doom remix Leslie Y. Naruto steps into the tower with the goal to conquer it and gather 10,000 demon souls, but to also surpass his father. Naruto was wearing black cargo pants with a few scrolls of food and water in the pockets, a white wife beater tucked in with white gloves, and black fingers, goggles on his forehead, and in her harness. He also has a pair of daggers, and his bracelets on his wrists. I can only spend a week here. At most I need to get as far as I can in that time, Naruto thought. He leaps atop a building, and the area resembles the city of his original world, but on fire and destroyed. The demons soon appear, and Naruto begins his tear through the tower, its first 50 floors cleared in 3 days. Finally a challenge, Naruto muses, looking at the guardian of the 50th floor known as Avarice. It is a morbidly obese demon with a skull-like face, 3 eyes, and long jagged horns. Naruto brings forth Ironside, and with a dozen other soldiers to deal with Avarice's guards, as he draws. Trembling, Naruto says, going. Vigorous leads the soldiers into battle with Ironside, as Naruto launches toward Avarice with the demon meeting him with its club rays. So it is fast despite its size, Naruto thought. The ground shatters at the point of impact, as Naruto vanishes, swinging with a wind dragon dance. Avarice roars in pain, but swings its club with a violent disturbing of the air, destroying several buildings in the process. Naruto blitzes Avarice with several deep slashes. Flame dragon dance, he shouts, firing a blast of flames into Avarice's face. This knocks the demon off balance, but swings its club, and Naruto dodges, landing on it, and rushing down towards the demon's face. Earth Dragon Dance, Naruto roars, piercing Avarice's head, and earthen spikes erupt from its head. Naruto lands with a thud, and rests on his right shoulder, Arise. He utters, creating a soldier from Avarice now known as Greed. Naruto continues on, and soon reaches the 75th floor, which resembles a massive graveyard. He encounters another boss demon like Avarice named Mercurius. Naruto defeats in a similar manner to Greed, and creates a soldier from it, but keeping the caster's original name. I'm close to floor 80. I've got about 2 more days of Naruto musing, blowing a stream of smoke, but his eyes narrow, as several of his lower rank soldiers were destroyed. It was a day later when Naruto found the source of his attackers, 3 demons on horseback, and wearing ornate armor. 2 of the knights attack, but Naruto takes them out, while the last knight in red and white armor shakes in fear. Oh, demons can feel fear, Naruto says, cutting an imposing figure with his upper body shadowed. However, the knight attacks with their spear, but Naruto dodges with an impressed look. They aimed for my vitals, he thought. Naruto shoots forward, and breaks open the knight's guard, and shatters their spear. I give up, and the knight shouts, stopping Naruto from going for his dagger. They can talk, Naruto thought. The knight removes their helmet to reveal a girl with long purple hair braided to her mid-back with light red eyes, and red markings around her eyes. Please spare my life. I am sorry for attacking the knight, frantically. Naruto spits out the butt of his cigarette. Yet you're looking for an opening to kill me, he says, and the knight falls to her knees with her face on the ground. Forgive me, I'll give you whatever you want, the knight shouts, and Naruto's sweat drops. Alright, I want to move past this floor, Naruto says. The path to the next floor is the protection of my clan. If you spare me, and return me home, I will make sure you can move on, the knight says. Naruto rolls his neck, and sighs. Alright, take me to your home, he says. I am Ina of the Remembrance clan, the knight says, and Naruto would sort of regret not killing her. Music ends. Then flashback. Naruto opens his eyes with a sigh, but feels a weight, and sees a small brown fox kid with 2 tails. She's cute, he muses, petting. We hope to raise her like big sister Magi muses. Naruto slowly sits up to not disturb, and strokes Akagi's head. Just be the good sisters you can be, and don't fight with Kaga, he says, and puffs her cheeks. No promises, Akagi says. Kaga approaches with a small container, and gently wakes. The little fox returns to her human form, and lets Naruto feed her some onigiri. So how is this sister of yours? Naruto wipes Amagi's mouth in thought. She seems nice, and humble. I'll need to get to know her more, he replies. Maybe she won't be like those others. The Inizuka would have ogled us in our human forms. Inizuka are more animals than humans, Naruto says. If he would have attempted anything on Ni-sama or Anko-sama, I would have taken what makes him a man, and Naruto gets a dark look. I would be inclined to agree with what Naruto says. What makes him a man? Amagi asks, her voice soft and innocent. Kurama snorts, as the three make a face. Something you don't need to know for now, says, taking her from Naruto, and she makes a confused face. KHM, I should get back to Anko, see you later, Naruto says. Kurama gives a nod, and gives him a hug. Bye-bye, Nai-chan says, and Naruto waves, vanishing in a swirl of wind. Izushiagakur no Sato. 1 month later. Fayumi shrinks under the gaze of as she and her team were sent on a Goodwill mission, but it was met by ice-cold looks. If one asked if she would rather see the looks of Yuzashio's citizens or fight nearly 30 D-rank hunters in Nami, well, she would take the latter. Hinata maintained a stoic face, and was unreadable, while her sensei stood protectively in front of them. Thank you for accepting us, Yuzuki-sama says, but Kushina says nothing. The Redeed wanted nothing more than to cut down these 4, but one was her son's sister. How does it feel? Kushina asks, simply. Kurenai furrows her brow, but gasps at the question. Very cold, ma'am. Similar to how you were treated, she says. Kushina leans back in her chair with a lick of her lips, and her draconic eyes on Kurenai's ruby orbs. At least you're smart. So what does the monkey want? She asks. Okage-sama wishes to rekindle our alliance. He sent us to be of use to you in any way, Kurenai says. Kushina arches an eyebrow with a smirk, and a seductive look on her face. Anything, she says, but blushes brightly, causing the Redeed to laugh. I'm not like my counterparts. If Sir Toby wishes to truly rekindle our alliance, he'll need to come here himself, and his ward, as a student, as well. So Yuhi-san, your trip is for naught, Kushina states. Kurenai frowns, and turns to her team, but Kushina is standing behind her. However, I wish to see Fayumi come stand in front of me. Kushina says, and gasps. Kurenai was about to protest, but made her way forward, before Kushina cups her face. She couldn't look away from Kushina's purple draconic eyes, but the Redeed pulled back, as quickly as it happened. Your team can stay. Be thankful for this girl. I'll have my Anbu escort you to a hotel, Kushina says, but the door bursts open, and a young man rushes in. Kushina-sama, we have an A-class gate in Lower Shinkoku, he shouts, having messy brown hair, and yellow eyes with a slim build under his black suit. Falcon, who do we have? Kushina says, and a falcon appears, kneeling on one knee. The Sanin are off island, and the remaining Espada are spread through Yuzu on clears. It would take hours to reach Shinkoku with the other guilds, Falcon reports, and Kushina pinches her nose. Where is Sachi? Kushina asks, and the falcon freezes. On his morning run, the last to disturb him couldn't eat for 4 months, Falcon says, and Team Kurenai gasp. Go get him. Tell him I said to come, Kushina says, and the falcon vanishes, followed by the young man, but then the Summer Queen turns her gaze to Team Kurenai. You 4 are going with him. If Konoha wants to prove themselves better than they were held, my son, close this gate, Kushina says, leaving no room for refusal. A few minutes pass, and suddenly the door slams open with Naruto stepping inside. Can I ask why Falcon came to see me on my run? He wears a pair of brown cargo shorts with white running tights, high-top tennis shoes, and a loose white beater over his sweaty form, giving all the women in the room a generous look at his body, as he wipes his face. A class gate in Shinkoku, Team Kurenai from Konoha will be your backup, Kushina explains. Naruto shifts his gaze to her team, but more too. Fine, I'll need some gear, he says. Kushina holds up a black case with a smile. I keep some in case, she says, and Naruto shakes his head, taking the case, and opening it to reveal numerous bracelets. Kurenai and her team gasp, as Naruto outfits himself with a belt harness for a pair of trench knives, and pulls said sword from a seal. It's Yuinjutsu. Those bracelets can be used to summon weapons or even animal summons. Sachi keeps copies of his gear. Do tell your cage what you see, Kushina says. What about that sword? He pulled it out of a seal on his arm. Fayumi says, and Kushina smirks. You have an eye for weapons. Zetsude is a special sword. She's never too far from him, Kushina says. I'm ready, Naruto says, and Team Kurenai gawk. You're going dressed simply like that, Hinata questions. Naruto rolls his right shoulder with a smirk. Unlike you, I am always ready. Now we're heading to Shinkoku via near instant movement. Now link hands, and don't move or do anything, he says. Team Kurenai links hands with Naruto holding hands with, and House starts, but gasps, seeing her brother's eyes glow purple. Shadow exchange. Naruto utters, and Team Kurenai gasp, as they are on the streets of Shinkoku, as people are being led away from the gate, with the confused man. Naruto-sama, he says, and Naruto pats his back softly. We're here to help everyone. Now get to safety, Naruto says, and the man scurries off. Naruto makes his way towards the gate with his temporary team in tow. What was that? We appeared right behind that man. Do you know Harem? Kurenai asks, in quick succession. Naruto glances back with a smirk, but shakes his head. It's my personal ability. Something I don't intend to tell outsiders. Now let's go clear this gate, he says, and the four follow him. Anbu and association personnel were already securing the scene as Naruto and company approached. Naruto-sama area is secured ready for insertion, and the codename Puma says. Naruto pats Puma on the shoulder. This is Team Kurenai from Konoha lead by Kurenai Yuhi, he says. Kurenai Yuhi B rank hunter specialization caster, Puma says. Our team consists of Shino Aburam Hinata Hyuga and Fayumi Namikaze, Naruto says, and Puma takes note of each. Naruto slams his fist into his palm with a smirk. Time to work. Puma feels free to start the pot, he says, and Puma bows. Pot asks, and Puma looks her way. The pot to see how long Naruto-sama takes to complete this gate. Puma replies. You're cutting into my time. Let's go, Naruto shouts, as they step inside. The first thing that hit Team Kurenai were the chilling cold of snow and harsh wind. What is this? Shouts, but couldn't really be heard over the howling wind. Hinata activates her Byakugan, as veins protrude on her face towards her eyes, but it was too late, sensei. She pretends to shout. Kurenai was completely unaware of her student's actions or the death streaking towards her until something pokes her temple. Kurenai turns her gaze to see Naruto holding an arrow aimed for her head, causing her ruby eyes to widen. We need to move, Naruto says, unaffected by the cold. Kurenai, despite freezing, looks to her team, and sees they were worse off than her. We can't how are unaffected, she shouts. Naruto quickly weaves signs to Ram, and slams his hands on the snow. Hyoten. Ice igloo, he thought, creating said igloo. Kurenai and her team gasped at the structure, and the biting cold was gone, but they were still freezing with the worst off. You can use the Hyoten, Hinata hisses, zipping up her coat. I can mimic it with existing ice, Naruto says. He slips off 5 bracelets, and summons parkas for his ill-prepared team. Put these on, Naruto says, ripping off his shirt to start a fire with his coat. What happened? Fayumi says. Naruto places his hand on the igloo to reinforce it, as arrows start pelting the area. They took advantage of the whiteout. Your student was too late to save you. Luckily I was here, Naruto explains. What would have happened, missing Hinata's face? Naruto gives the mistress a look, and points to the broken arrow. You would have been dead before your brain realized it, he says. Warm yourself, and your students. I'll give you a rundown of the situation, Naruto says, and mutters a thank you. How are you not cold? Fayumi asks, warming her hands. Kurenai checks on, and the cold hits her heart with a quarter of her hive dead. I would like to know that too. Unlike us, you are perfectly fine, Kurenai says. I'm used to these cold temperatures. I spent nearly a year in a near desolate frozen land on the 10th floor of the Heaven Tower, Naruto says, and they gasp. It's where I got these tattoos, Naruto adds, pointing to the runes. The 10th floor is land ruled by strength. The inhabitants of this floor are known as Vikings, a seafaring warrior people that can do the most unspeakable things known to man, Naruto explains, and gasps in horror. I was 12 at the time, and mother, to further toughen me up, sent me to them, so I joined the Jomstikings, and survived. However, we can talk about that later. We need to focus on our enemies. Kurenai, can you make an illusion of us dead? I'll make another igloo for you 4, Naruto says. What will you do? Fayumi says, and Naruto smirks. Music. Kill them all. Paul.dpets loop. Naruto lays flat near their former site, and starts to create the illusion of them all dead. Kurenai with an arrow through her temple, having a similar death, as she went to help her guardian. Hinata took one through the throat, and choked to death, while taking several. Naruto was in a similar state to Shino, as arrows riddled in his body. The real Naruto was under a sheet of snow, as heavy footfalls approached, and he saw several men of various sizes, even some double his size. All of them were wearing bear skins, and other fur-like clothes. Several archers appear in the trees, dressed without the bear skin, and are female with fur dresses. Louder footfalls start to make themselves known. There you are, Naruto thought. Several trees break, as a massive short-nosed bear appears, easily 25 to 30 feet if it stood. On his back is a muscular man with various furs, and a bear headdress with 2 long elk horns on it. In his hand was an axe, but a Viking-inspired 2-handed axe with a large blade, including several runes going down the handle. The hunter must have had it, and you claimed it, as spoils ha big boy. Well, don't fold me for doing the same, Naruto thought. Ironside let loose the wolves of war, Naruto thought. The leader grunts in their language to check the bodies, and one does, but all he finds is an arrow to the forehead. Several howls get their attention, as the bear roars in response. From the trees more arrows fly, as the hunters respond. Ironside boom rushes through the trees, and swings his axe into one of the larger hunters, spewing black blood on the snow. Wolves follow Ironside, an attack going for throats, as the hunters counterattack, but when a wolf dies another rises. The archers try to pinpoint their quarry, but their quarry makes no sounds. One hisses in anger, but grunts, as she's bound to a tree by thorns, allowing to emerge, and slit her throat. The mistress continues this process, and begins their ground assault. Hinata hated this mission, but she also hated the latter more so, as she is the useless daughter of their Yondaime. She, like many in the village, felt should be leading them into the future, but instead wallows mediocrity. She learned from her father that intended to announce Fayumi's heritage to garner clients and trainers. However did it first, and with a male heir, but Uzumaki genetics were nigh superior, hiding all traces of a Yondaime. Hinata slams her palm on a hunter, and explodes his heart with her, thanks to her gauntlets which increase her strength. She had hoped to seduce Naruto, but he saw her attempt to kill Kurenai, curse the gods for my failure. At the same time was fighting to the best of her abilities. Her new sword which she needed to give a name to was like an extension of herself. Brother seems to fight like an assassin with those daggers though, seeing glimpses of Naruto. A large hunter swings a large club, but blocks, causing her to skid in the snow, as she catches her breath. We need to kill the boss. I can feel my limbs going numb, though. The club hunter roars almost like a human and bear, but screams right back. She shoots forward, as her whole body glows yellow, as do her eyes, Fuden Kenjutsu. Severing wave thought, slashing the hunter in several spots. He gives one last roar, and collapses with a thud, as staggers, but falls into something hard. The something being Ironside, causing it to move quickly, but the brute gives her a thumbs up. Fayumi does the same, and Ironside smirks, before joining his master. Naruto stares the leader down, as Ironside joins him. Bear is all yours, leader is mine, he says, sheathing his knives, and slowly drawing. The leader seems to sense the challenge, and leaps from the bear with a thud. The tension seems to double, as both sides stare each other down. Till Krig. Naruto roars, and Ironside roars, as well. The leader and War Bear do the same, as both sides rush into battle. Fayumi joins Kurenai in the trees. What did Naruto yell? Fayumi says. I don't know. We should check what Shino Kurenai says, and both vanish, as Hinata soon follows them. Naruto slams into the leader with a shoulder block, staggering him, and allowing the monarch to slash open his chest. The leader swings his axe, but Naruto dodges with a sidestep, and uses Shikuchi to get behind the leader into a Gatatsu strike from behind. Blood spews from the wound on both ends, as the leader roars, and swings his axe. Naruto blocks with his forearm, hitting the leader's arm, and knocking the axe free. The leader roars, and attempts a right cross, but Naruto blocks it, into a headbutt, and staggering the leader. A loud snap echoed, and the cause was Ironside breaking the bear's neck. This halts the leader, and Naruto makes him pay by cleaving off his head with the axe. Naruto then raises the axe with a mighty roar, and Ironside follows suit, as the snow stops. I'll put you to good use in honor of your fallen master, Naruto muses. Music ends. Naruto stares at the corpses of the leader and bear, while Ironside stands near him with his clone scouring the area. Naruto, the gate is open. Your clone took Shino through with what the others said, waking up. You should go too. Those need to be treated, Naruto says. Fayumi looks down at her feet, and they were showing early signs of hypothermia. I can take it on my, she says. Naruto squats down to touch the leader. I suspect the Hokage wants you to get to know me better, he said, and Fayumi's breath hitches. If we are to establish trust with one another, I wish to know some things. Tell me, are you treated well, and be honest, Naruto says. Well, I don't think I am. Some people, even Jiji, compare me to our dad teachers at the academy, brought up how dad did it this way or that way. I'm actually glad I got Kurenai sensei, as my sensei, otherwise it would be maddening, says, but feels a hand on her shoulder courtesy of Ironside. Unbeknownst to Naruto was using his Sharingan to get her to talk. I see, I have an inkling of that feeling. My mother is revered by many, and those are big shoes to fill anyway. Since you've given a little, I'll show you something, but this must stay between us. This is my trust in you, my little sister, he says, and turns to her, pocketing his hands. Fayumi's blue eyes widen, as Naruto's eyes turn a haunting purple. Arise, he utters. Fayumi gasps sharply, as the corpses twitch, and shadow versions of them appear, even the leader and bear. My power is necromancy. I can bring someone back if I wish, as a shadow soldier. I can even attach that shadow to a person, and travel. It's how we got to Shinkoku, Naruto explains, and points to the Ironside. He was one of my first. His name was Bjorn Ironside. A man who, despite being on his deathbed, got out of that bed, donned his armor, and led his army into battle before passing. Naruto says, and looks down at her, "This is my trust in you, sister. I wouldn't break it," Fayumi says. Naruto softly smiles, and Ironside lifts her off the ground. "He'll take you to the healers," he says, and she slowly nods, letting Ironside take her to the exit. She's an innocent child in these comments, and Naruto grunts, turning his attention to the bear and leader. "You two need names," Naruto says, cupping his chin in thought, but snaps his fingers. "I'll call you Hati." Named for one of the wolves who devoured the moon, Naruto explains, and blows steam from its nose, as if it likes the name. "You'll be called Bone," Naruto says, with no fanfare, and seems to snort at Bone. Naruto dispels his new soldiers, and makes his way to the gate exit, stepping out to Puma. "All of them have been taken to the healers. Anything of value," Puma said. "Weapons and old valuables, send in 5 teams. My clones are waiting," Naruto replies, and goes for a shower. An hour later, Naruto was sitting in the penthouse of a hotel with a glass of whiskey. "You know, Fayumi reminds me of Ina," comments, and Naruto snorts, remembering the timid demon. Flashback: Demon Tower. Naruto follows Ina into her father's castle to receive the pass to move on to the next level of the tower. Irina's father sits on his throne, but the man has a look of complete fear on his face. "Yeah, Ina WW who have brought," he says. "What does father mean?" "This is Sir Naruto. Oh, he is the Shadow Monarch," Ina says. I see I missed, so what do you want?" Mina's father says. "Passage to the next level, and in exchange I will seat you as rulers of this tower," Naruto says. "I've heard another who made such a boast, and failed miserably." Naruto flexes his power, and brings out some of his army. "Unlike that man, I intend to do it," he says, and Miss weakly nods, handing over the key to the next level. Ina continues to follow Naruto, as his witness to his greatness, with a through crushing the ruler the leveler through negotiations, as each level fell to the new Shadow Monarch. They soon reach the entrance to the final level of the tower. "I can go no further, Sir Naruto." "I wish you luck, and thank you," Ina says, before kissing Naruto on the cheek. Music. The betrayer too maternal. Naruto chuckles, and steps through the gate into the peak of the tower, resembling a destroyed city like many of the others before them. However, the air was different here, as it was heavy and old, but also charred. Naruto uses it to search out life, but finds nothing but decay. No one has made it this far, it seems, he thought, but hears a roar. Naruto skids to a halt, and lands on a building, as in the distance was Wyvern, and upon it sits a hulking figure. They were a huge muscular demon with grey skin, glowing white eyes, glowing flame-like white hair. A long tail, and 4 horns on their head, 2 of which were very long, and curved. They also wear an elaborate grey helmet, and pale yellow armor on their shoulders, and over the groin area. "Monarch of Shadow, you have come to your death," I see, they boom out, across the desolate area. Naruto moves closer, and halts in the air near the supposed ruler of the tower. "Far from it, I've come to give you death," he says. The figure laughs loudly, and pulls the reins on their wyvern. "Death it is, I, Monarch of Demons, Baron shall give it to you there." The wyvern roars, and takes flight, as Naruto draws, flaring his captain class, and this gives Baron pause. "Bankai. Kyosu Haiki Zetsue." Naruto shouts. Zetsue glows brightly, and shifts into a halberd-like weapon having a large double-edged sword shape, and its pommel having a large crescent moon-like design. "Dragon Thunderclap," Naruto shouts, swinging the massive blade, and shooting red lightning. Baron dodges, and their wyvern fires its own white flames, as Baron draws the massive blade. Naruto launches forward with a burst of wind, and swings, as Baron swings their blade, colliding in a shockwave that blows both back. "You seem to have some skill. However, it will not save you, human monarch," Baron sneers. Naruto ignores Baron's boasts, and shoots forward to knock them from their wyvern, but it fires another stream of flames, allowing Baron to regain their wyvern. Naruto dodges, and fires another dragon thunderclap, but Baron dodges, firing lightning from their own blade. Explosions rock the hellscape, as Naruto and Baron trade attacks with neither gaining an inch. Baron swings the massive blade with another shockwave, but Naruto pushes on the blade. "How can this human monarch keep up with me, as a full monarch, unless," Baron thought. Both break once again, as the buildings under them shudder, and break apart, but Naruto tosses towards Baron, which they send careening into the rubble. "Have you finally taken leave of your senses?" Baron boasts, but they're blank, and white eyes whiten. Naruto was clutching his left hand, and charges a dark purple Zero Buster Cannon, he roars, firing the white area Zero. Baron channels power to their blade, and swings into the Zero with a thunderous explosion, but it is enough to unseat Baron from their wyvern. It crashes into a building unmoving, as Baron remains hovering with part of their armor broken away. "You will pay 1,000-fold for this affront," Baron roars, but Naruto appears from the smoke in the sky with a wild grin. Naruto brings down, and she crashes into Baron, sending them through several buildings. Naruto rests on his shoulder, but shifts his gaze to the fallen wyvern. "Arise," he utters, bringing it back. Baron explodes with power, but gasps, as they see Naruto standing on their fallen mount. "Impossible, that wyvern was powerful. How could you bring it back unless you are not a human monarch, but a full monarch?" Baron roars. Naruto grins with malicious intent, and spins over his head with one hand. You realize a two-lady says, and vanishes, appearing above Baron. Dragon's Maelstrom. Naruto shouts, and destroys Baron, solidifying him superior to his father. Music and then flashback. Naruto opens his eyes to the sound of knocking, and he closes his robe, making his way to open it to find standing at the door. She was wearing casual clothes of shorts, and a blouse with bandages up to her forearms, and knees with some slippers. Should you be up and about what Naruto says, inviting her in. It wasn't so bad. Kurenai-sensei sent me to say thank you. Naruto closes his robe more. You don't have to, gates are tricky. You don't know what you're walking into, so always beware. Drink, he says. I don't drink, but sees the soda bottle in his hand, and she takes it. Naruto changes into some jeans and a tee, as opens her bottle. So how long have you been a necromancer, she asks. I awakened at 6, reawakened at 13, Naruto replies, and Fayumi's eyes whitened. You're awakened, Fayumi says, and Naruto nods. It's a rarity. Hunters can go up a level in power. My case, I became unranked. My power surpasses the normal scale. Add to the fact I am a monarch, Naruto explains. Monarch asks. Naruto takes a seat with a new glass of whiskey. This falls under trust, but I can say it is something you pray you don't fight. They surpass even the SS class. They're S-class bosses times 10, Naruto explains, and were white the entire time. 3 intended to kill me, but failed, but others are lurking about hoping for a chance to fail in killing me, Naruto adds. Confidence in yourself says. Gotta be, otherwise I'll be killed. So what is your ability, Naruto says. It's called Sword Dancer. I can wield any sword and enhance my moves, Fayumi explains, and Naruto looks impressed. As she awakened the Sharingan, her ability would only grow, Naruto thought. He was about to compliment her, but his eyes were narrow. Seems we have a guest, Naruto says, getting to his feet, and looks confused. Naruto opens the door with her arms folded under her 106 cm breasts. How did you get here so fast, he asks. Furesha says, walking in and seeing. Fayumi Namik is my sister, and Fayumi meets Tsunade Senju, Naruto says, and they exchange greetings. Senju asks. Tsunade takes a seat with a nod, as Naruto makes her a drink. Unlike the Senju in Konoha who picked over my great-grandfather's remains, and forced my great-granduncle to flee. We still follow his teachings, she says. Naruto hands her a drink. It's a sensitive subject, he says. It probably would be because I've heard stories about the legendary healer, Fayumi says. She drinks like a fish, gambles like a fiend, Naruto says, and shoots him a look, but he leans down to kiss her forehead. But she never gives up on those in her care. That is, she is the most loving woman to many of the orphans in yashio, Naruto adds. HMPH praise me more, Narukon said, but shifts her focus to her bandages. How bad was the gate, asking, rising to her feet, and approaching her fellow blonde. A snowstorm. If Naruto wasn't there, we would be dead, replies, and gasps, as Tsunade's hands glow light green. They took advantage of the whiteout. She and the team did well. Considering mom threw them in with me, Naruto says. She has a tendency to do muses. Fayumi rises from her seat with a stretch. Thank you, but I should get back to my team. It was nice meeting you, she says, and excuses herself, as Tsunade returns to her seat. She seems like a good person, as Naruto crosses his legs. She is her Hyuga teammate, on the other hand, Naruto says, and arches an eyebrow. She attempted to use the whiteout to kill her sensei. Deaths do happen within gates, but Konoha could whine about her dying on my watch, she adds. Maybe that was what the plan says, and Naruto nods, sipping his drink. Konohagakure no Sato. Hiruzen looks over his village after reviewing Kurenai's report from. He cursed the witch Kushina for sending one of his genin teams into an errant gate. However, it managed to bring more of Naruto's abilities to the surface, a technique on par with the Horatian Hiruzen thought. Nico, Hiruzen says, and the operative appears. Unlike the previous world, Yugao Yuzuki is male with a skinny build and messy purple hair. I want your team to head to Nami and escort Team Kurenai back to the village where Hiruzen orders, and Nico vanishes. 10 days later, the team in question were standing in front of their cage and giving their report. They dismissed, Hiruzen says, but stops. So Hiruzen asks. Fayumi shifts from one foot to another. We talked about how Naruto is super nice. He even showed me some new sword techniques. I even got to meet Tsunade Senju and her cousin Yuhiko, she says, and Hiruzen gives her a grandfatherly smile. What are the young Senju like? Comparable to our Senju, Hiruzen asks. Tsunade's really strong. She destroyed a huge boulder with one punch and showed Kurenai-sensei some healing techniques. Shino even found some insects thanks to her. Yuhiko is strong too, but with suit and jutsu, explains. So the Senju can enhance her strength like Sensei could, and he is like Tobirama, Hiruzen thought. Did you go into any other gates? Hiruzen asks, but Fayumi shakes her head before he dismisses her. Nico appears in a kneeling motion. He personally escorted them, even toured the bridge. He betrayed nothing, he reports. I see Fayumi speaks well of him, and the Senju, she must be his mistress, Hiruzen says. 2 others, as well, were seen close to him, Akon and Shirayuki, and Kagaya Lee, Nico says, and Hiruzen's eyes widen, but says nothing, before dismissing Nico. One of the Densetsu no Sanine named my students perhaps could have earned in their battle with Hanzo, but 3 well stood by simply standing up to him, Hiruzen thought. His door opens, and Danzo enters with the clack of his cane. What have you learned? Hiruzen asks. Suna has aligned himself with Uzi, and aim starts, and this gives Hiruzen pause. Hanzo would align with Yashio, Hiruzen says, but clears his throat. Yashio's offer must have been overwhelming to convince Hanzo, but worse is Suna. The Wind Lord has been most generous to our nation, as of late. Too much of his ninja village aligned itself with Yashio. Perhaps it's time Rasa be removed. Orochimaru can send his Sound 5 lead by his Kagaya charge. It can be done during the Chunin exams, Hiruzen says. It can't be tied to us stressing them, as Yuzu Ninja would be, unless perhaps inciting them against Iwar Kumo, and Hiruzen nods. What about our Jinchuriki problem? Hiruzen asks. We can get our hands on the Nanabi container. She lives in the outskirts of the village, and the leader Suyin is willing to look the other way for a price, Danzo says, and Hiruzen nods again. Retrieve her immediately. We need to be prepared, Hiruzen says. Izashiagakur no Sato. So you're dodging work, a voice says, with an adjustment of her red frame glasses. Naruto was currently sitting in the office of Karen Uzumaki, head of R&D for his guild. Not so much dodging, my clones handle my day-to-day, Naruto says. Karen gives him a look, and he takes his feet off her desk. So what do you want? Oh, your new axe, she says. She wears a purple button-up blouse, a black tie, black jean shorts with purple stockings, and a white lab coat. Naruto follows his fellow Uzumaki to one of the many research rooms in his guild building. I outfitted it with the seals you requested, even the storage seal to take in energy to be discharged, she explains. It looked high quality. The original owner used premium materials, Naruto says. The axe sits on a table. As Karen goes around, I would agree. The wood is from Wood's country, and the metal is high-grade chakra metal from iron. The wood itself is at least a century old, she explains, and Naruto whistles, picking up his new axe. Your name will be Stormbreaker, Naruto says, and Karen makes a face. You, and the name. Oh, I also have Kagaya's bow, and Tsunade's gauntlets, Karen says. Naruto seals his axe in a seal on one of his tats, as she leads him to another room where several researchers were putting the finishing touches on his lover's weapons. Since Kagaya can use her bones as arrows or create them with natural energy, I focused on reflex and maneuverability, Karen explains. The bow has the style of compound bow, a string made from that spider nest in the north, Naruto says, and Karen nods. The bow itself is made of lightweight and durable material with seals to her specifications. Same with Tsunade's gauntlets, Karen explains, showing him the gauntlets. They are arm-length in a metallic silver design with intricate designs of varying colors with claw-like fingers and detachable saws on the top of the hands. Thanks, Karen, these will come in handy in the tower, Naruto says. Until you enter we can make adjustments, Karen says, and Naruto nods, sealing both into bracelets. You know, I've heard rumors that a cage summit may be called to discuss a possible fourth expedition to Glacier Island, Karen says, and Naruto furrows his brow. Where'd you hear something like that? Especially when my mother hasn't mentioned it, Naruto says. Ready, Karen replies, and Naruto makes a face, but sighs, as they enter her office. I see no one's been there since the end of the Second War. Even Yuki stays away from there with a constant naval presence. Konoha pulled out of the last trade, blaming the death of the Nidaime Hokichi Kagami Uchiha, Naruto explains. Even so, that's the rumor on the web. You and Espada could clear it even if it is an S-class break, Karen says. True, but mother will only allow it for the right price, Naruto says. Karen's office door opens, and a researcher pokes his head in. Guildmaster 3 young genin are looking for you. They were sent by Kushina-sama, he says, and Naruto tasks. So you are ducking work, Karen says. Mother wants me to train some genin for the exams, Naruto says. They're better than you, they'll be ready, and get experience, Karen notes, and Naruto slowly nods, bidding Karen bye. Wasabi Izuno was giddy, as she's meeting the lover of her idol, and leader of one of the most powerful guilds around. Her teammate Iwabi Ueno was just as giddy, as he was a huge fan of their new sensei. Their third teammate Teiya Uzumaki was actually related to him, as his second cousin. As he liked the rumors of Asos. He is a young man with a tan complexion, lean build, dark brown eyes, and straight dark brown hair. His outfit consists of a red cap covering his ears, and secured by a blue string that holds up all his hair, excluding a single bang that hangs between his eyes. A dull red shirt, a black jacket, and trousers with steel toe boots. That he is a lazy bastard, Benya says, and is very much like her previous world's counterpart. Her outfit consists of black shirt with the Uzumaki swirling purple on the back, black cargo shorts that cinch below the knee with reinforced sneakers, the same color as her clothes. Lastly, a dark purple hoodie with black trim and gloves, completing her attire with a pair of wireless headphones around her neck. You don't mean that, Wasabi says, her cat ears flopping down. She is a Demihuman from the tower, as her mother settled in. She has short spiky brown hair and green cat-like eyes with two cattails moving around. Her outfit consists of a light green, sleeveless hoodie shirt that is cropped with a mesh attire underneath, and puffy green shorts with brown sandals. Of course she doesn't. She loves her cousin, Naruto says, waking up. Teiya sighs, as her teammates geek out. No I don't, she says, but hugs Naruto. Alright, follow me, and we'll get introduced to one another, Naruto says, and beckons for them to follow. The The four ride the elevator to Naruto's office with the three taking in everything, but the others spot a Hirosabi. Naruto opens his door and ushers the three in and beckons for them to sit on one of the couches. Primera isn't here. The San and Arname prepping to help start a guild there. Tharkal, you three aren't ready for Anko, and Kagaya are in the mess with Tsunade at the medical center. Naruto explains. What about Shinki asks. Naruto gives his cousin a sly look. Your boyfriend is off island in Suna, he says, and was about to curse him out, but stops. Anyway, let's introduce ourselves. You know me by reputation, so introduce yourselves, Naruto says. I will be quickly snaps to attention despite sitting. I will be Ueno, and it is an honor to meet you, Naruto-sama, he shouts. Easy man, Naruto is just fine, Naruto says. Wasabi is Ueno, and it's an honor to learn from you, and Tsunade-sama, Wasabi says, and Naruto smiles. Teiayu Uzumaki, and I see you enough to know Oni-sama made you teach us. Naruto snorts at his mother's pet name. Yes, she did, but that doesn't mean I'll slack off when I'm done with you. Other genin will cry in terror, he says. Naruto. Anko crows, pushing open his door with Kagaya in tow. The former has a bowl of ice cream in her hands. Naruto, she says, but the pair see the three. Who are they? Oh hey, Yae-chan says. I will be Ueno, and Wasabi is Ueno. I'm their Jonin lead for now, Naruto explains, as both greet, and Kagaya. This is Mama written all over this, says, plopping on the other couch, and crossing her legs. Kagaya goes bold, and sits in Naruto's lap. It's strawberry, she says, holding a spoonful to his mouth. Naruto takes the spoon with a soft coo, and Kagaya licks some stray cream from his mouth. KHM wants them to leave, Anko says, but Naruto shakes his head, as Kagaya joins her on the sofa. Anyway, as I was saying, I'll be training you. We'll also be clearing gates, so be prepared, Naruto says, and three nod. So what skill sets are asked? I specialize in Taijutsu, and Nikko Ninjutsu. I'm similar to the Inizuka of Konoha, but don't use an Inken partner. I really don't have a specialization, but I'm good with my pipe, and Doten Jutsu says. Naruto cups his chin though, and his lovers could see the wheels turning in his head. I can work with this. Teiaya specializes in musical genjutsu and long-range attacks, he says. Alright, meet me here in the lobby at 8 AM, Naruto adds, and dismisses the three. Those poor genin, Kagaya says, finishing her ice cream, and giggles. I won't hurt them too bad, Naruto says, and breaks out Kagaya's new bow. Kagaya approaches the desk, and picks up the bow. It looks to be in good shape, she says. Karen always does good work, Naruto says, and he sees pouting. Don't be jealous, he says. I'm not. I have Wisconsin, says, and uncrosses her legs. So you're gonna train Jen, and she adds. Naruto leans back in his chair. I don't mind, I'll take them into some lower level gates. I can already decide on a weapon for Iwabi, he says. I'll help if I can. That Wasabi girl could maybe learn the Hibi style, says. I can help Teiaya fight from long range. Perhaps a bow is in her future, Kagaya comments, and both softly laugh. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.